It's T-2. I sometimes forget what day is actually leading up to a race. Thursday was press conference here for the Ironman European Championships. And I have to say we've always been here in the Continental Hotel. It's actually super small rooms, built in the, I don't know, last century at one point. But they have super nice stuff, and I've been here for 7 times. And I think it's actually last year I've been here to just commentate the race, and so I've always also been here in the hotel, and it always makes it easy for me if I've been in a place before. I don't know, maybe it sounds a little bit esoteric, but I have the feeling when my soul was kind of there, it's easier to come back and feel at peace or whatever. Talking about peace, this guy helps as well with the peace, not only the peace of my left ankle and Achilles, but also peace of mind to know that everything is in the right place, every bone is in the right place. It's good to have people around that you know, that you can trust, and also feel their excitement about the race, and that it really matters to them as well. That makes it sometimes really tough if you have a bad day, because then it's not, they kind of like share the pain with you if it's not going your way. But at the same time, it really helps a lot leading up to the race. I totally understand why a boxer or some sort of a fighter always has this like massive amount of people around them, even if they stand in the ring on their own at the end. It just gives you this support if you have people around you that know what you have been doing in the last weeks, that know how you feel before a race, that know how your mind works before an important race like that. And I think that's really important, that your mind is in the right place before such a race. And for me, I think it really is. Frankfurt always has been a very successful venue for me. I won here 3 times, I think 2 second places and an 8th place or something like that. So it has been pretty successful. And this year it's going to be, of course, very difficult to get another win, or even the podium will be very difficult with more than 50 professionals on the line. But especially with Jan and Patrick, it's a very unique setup in a German city to have the strongest long course athletes of the last couple of years in this race in front of the home crowd. It is truly something special. But for me, it's also a very nice situation, because with the success in the past, you have more and more races where you actually feel like everything else than winning the race is losing, right? And I don't really enjoy that kind of pressure, expectations. I don't know. Of course they come from myself, but it's better for me to have a race like Kona, or a race like 70.3 World Championships, or a race like here in Frankfurt, where you have such a strong field on the line that you know that even the second place would mean I beat either Jan or Patrick, which would be quite a success for sure in the current situation. And therefore I have another sort of motivation going into this race than for the first 3 races this year. For St. George, for Heilbronn, and also for Samorin. It was some sort of, not for St. George so much probably, because I didn't really knew where I was at with the preparation and running and everything. But for the other two races, it definitely felt like, okay, everything else than winning the race would not be enough to satisfy me. And I don't know, I don't really enjoy that so much. So here you definitely have something to win and not just everything to lose. And so that's the reason, I guess, why more experienced and successful athletes at one point in their career that just look forward to the really big races, because they know they can still win something and not just lose everything. Especially in the situation I'm currently in, with a probably not perfect preparation leading up to the race, especially when it comes to the running volume. I'm still not where I want to be, but I'm definitely on the right way, so that's a really good feeling. So having the race in Frankfurt is nice in a couple of ways, because it's just a round about 2 hour drive from home, depending on car and driver and traffic. And so therefore I have Gregor with me, my physiotherapist, and he is definitely a huge reason why I'm actually running so well again, because he did quite a good job with my left foot. I have a couple of people working with me, so he's not the only one who did a little bit of touchy this year. So I have to thank probably a couple of people when it comes to that point. And I think it's good to have somebody that's really working steadily with you, like see you every week, because especially if it's somebody like Gregor who does the sport himself, he can definitely feel changes and see changes from your body, which is very important, because sometimes you don't really realize that, and that's really really important. And also, it's not just put a little bit pressure here and there, but it's also just seeing you walk, for example, or seeing you do certain exercises or whatever. Just like seeing you move and your body move is very important. And then of course Kienle, my wife, she's always with me, which is really great. I mean, one of the good things that the last years have been quite successful is that she was able to quit her day job and travel with me full time. And I think, I can't really thank her enough. I think I would not be able to do it without her for sure, because I would arrive probably without a bike, one bike shoe, something like that. But not only that, I mean, I would freak out before the race like maybe 10 times. I don't know, commit suicide or kill somebody, whatever. And it's also really nice to share a lot of really nice moments that came with the sport in the last couple of years, but also that she has been there in like the really bad moments. That's probably even more important, because a lot of people know the good moments, and everything is nice when you're on the rise, right? Everything is great. You don't need other people around you necessarily. They will come and you have a lot of friends, but when it's not going very well, then it's a different story. Yeah? You don't want to have anybody around you besides probably somebody like Tine. Yeah. And then Philip is here as well, since he is just maybe an hour drive from here. He sleeps not in a wonderful in the Condi hotel, but at home. And it's also important to have him here, because of course there's also a lot of tactic talk going on before the race. Not really necessarily because I need a lot of advice tactically, but it's really important to go through a couple of things, and and that just kind of like balances you out mentally to talk about the race, but not in a I don't know, not in a strange way, but in a very in a very systematic way. And other than that, Micha, my mechanic, he sends people here to the hotel like in the middle of the day because I decided to have 2 bottle cages behind my saddle instead of one, and then a guy drives from his shop here like 1.5 hours and has a power tool with him and drills holes and stuff like that. So it's that's something really nice, as well as Dan from SRAM. He's also one of the guys taking care that the machinery is in absolutely top shape as well. And yeah, who else? I think that's and then it's those guys behind the camera sometimes as well. And yeah, of course, last but not least, it's the Swiss. My manager Ronnie Schildknecht. I know Ronnie for a very, very, very long time. When we had the same sponsor, Beast Pills. And that was a very good time because I think I really learned a lot from Ronnie. He's also a guy, he won Ironman Switzerland 9 times. I don't really think I need to introduce him, but he definitely knows something about the sport, but he also knows something about the business side of the sport, that's for sure. But here, of course, he can't do much business. I hope I win the race and then he can do a lot of business afterwards, hopefully. But it's also, like I said, it's just good to have somebody in your corner that knows you very well. And I mean, yeah, Ronnie for sure knows me very well. And he always balances me out. He's not just manager, but also a good friend. And that's important, yeah. Enjoy the show.